Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Robin, aka at Detroit Beastie, here with Team Riser Fall to talk about Sunday Night Football. The Pittsburgh Steelers head to LA to take on the Chargers. This one might go exactly how we think it's going to go. Hang here and let's talk about some undervalued players. Be right back. Hey, how are you? And we are back. Once again, I am Chris Robin, aka at Detroit Beastie, here to talk about Sunday Night Football. The Pittsburgh Steelers head to LA, beautiful SoFi Stadium, to take on Justin Herbert and the Chargers. As you can notice, I'm back in the DFS dungeon. I kind of painted it a little bit so it's not so dungeony, but here I am. We're still doing it. Sunday Night Football. On paper, this game looks to be fantastic, right? If you look at it over under, I believe it opened at 48 even, something along those lines. And as it stands now, over under 47 and a half total points. As I said, the 5-3-1 Pittsburgh Steelers, only second behind Baltimore in the AFC North, take on the Chargers, who are 5-4 in the AFC West, second behind Kansas City. Only makes sense that these two would get together and sparks will fly and it will go crazy. I'm here to tell you, might not be as high scoring as we think it's going to go. And personally speaking, several tweets, I've let it known that the last 2 or 3 single game videos of mine have been, let's just call it what it is, not good, because the NFL has been turned on its head, upside down the last few weeks. But I'm here. We're still doing it. The process is still strong. I'm here writing the notes, pen and paper, grinding, as the kids say, in the DFS dungeon. So before we get to the players and all that, the fun stuff, make sure you go to Team Riser Fall, like, share, and subscribe. I'm telling you, that's where you're going to want to be right here with us moving forward. Week 11, it's here, right? Sunday Night Football. That means week 11 is almost over. Can you believe week 12 is literally one day away? Monday Night Football, when that is gone, boom, week 12. Can you believe it? I can't, and I digress. So make sure you go to Team Riser Fall. Look at the graphics, $9.99 a month, $29.99 a month. And I want to shout out Bennett real quick. He's making graphics for Team Riser Fall 24/7, it seems. In the free Discord, you can go there. Bennett's there, I'm there, Mitch, Dab, and Puggle, the whole cast of experts and coaches are there, all free. Let's get into it. What you all came for, basically, here. Let's talk about Ben Roethlisberger, Pittsburgh at the Chargers. Chargers, they're fifth overall in terms of defending opposing quarterbacks. Does he get some room to run around? Even if he has room, I don't think Ben is going to move around much anymore this late in his career. Ben Roethlisberger, 14 grand on FanDuel, $10,200 on DraftKings. I have been respectable, 24, maybe 25 completions. You're looking at about 250, maybe 260 yards, and several touchdowns here. I think the floor for Ben in this one is about 250 and one touchdown. We'll see if he can get over the hump with that second touchdown. Where will it go? Anybody's guess? I have an idea here with my notes as we go down here. Let's mention Justin Herbert, rookie dynamo, not a rookie anymore. I'm so used to saying that, from last year. Justin Herbert, is he already a top 10 quarterback stud? Yeah. Is he a top 5 quarterback stud? Yeah. But in terms of Sunday Night Football, Chargers play Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, they're tough. They're 7th overall against opposing quarterbacks. Herbert, $16,500 on FanDuel, $11,200 on DraftKings. I have Herbert, maybe 26 to 27 total completions in this one, looking around 275 to 280 yards, 2 touchdowns in the air. And the big question mark for me, and it's a good one, will Herbert find the end zone on the ground? We shall see. I have him for around 3-4 carries. Nothing crazy, another 20 yards here. So obviously of the two, we both know where I'm going with this one. Justin Herbert, but I just want to mention the ownership percentage will reflect that. And briefly, I just want to don't kill me on this one. I want to mention Mason Rudolph briefly. He's 12 grand on FanDuel, and his DraftKings price is kind of, it doesn't matter because I want to get this out to you just in case last minute something goes wrong with Ben Roethlisberger. We know he was on the COVID IR, and now he's been designated to return, and he's back. But you never know what sort of weird complications can happen from that. Don't know if he even had COVID, but I know that he tested positive. But in order to be eligible to return, you have to have 2 negative tests in 24 hours, which he did. Just be mindful of that last minute in case the NFL and Ben throws you a curveball. We can pivot to Mason Rudolph. Do I want to do that? Absolutely not. Probably wasted your time and my time just talking about him. But here we are. Let's talk about running backs. The rookie Najee Harris, Pittsburgh at the Chargers. That's where I believe Pittsburgh can get over tonight, is against the Chargers. They're 29th overall against opposing running backs. Najee does it all. $15,600 on FanDuel, sky high, gotta love it. DraftKings $11,800. Najee, I have him around 22, 23 carries, heavily involved, obviously. You're looking at around 90 to 100 yards. I believe that's a safe prediction, safe projection, as they say. Touchdown on the ground, no-brainer here. And in terms of receptions, around 5, I think 6 would be a sweet spot, maybe even 7 here. But for the safety of the video and my ego here, I'm going to say Najee Harris, 4 or 5 receptions, another 30, probably 40 yards, and we move on. Benny Snell, not much, 2-3 carries, 12-ish, 15 yards. Not why even waste your time, personally, unless you're in a GPP. I'm going to mind my business with Benny Snell here, or the rest of the Pittsburgh running backs. I'm stuttering because it's like, who else is in the backfield aside from Najee Harris? Let's talk about Austin Ekeler. Pittsburgh, I believe they're 6th overall against opposing running backs here. Ekeler, kind of like Najee Harris. Who do you think is better right now, Najee or Austin Ekeler, in terms of this moment in time? I'm not talking about the future. I'm not talking about, week 12 or 13. I'm talking at this moment in time in this game. Who do you think is going to perform better? Austin Ekeler, $14,000 on FanDuel, $10,800 on DraftKings. Ekeler, 15, 16 carries, little ambitious because we know he does little bit of everything. He'll have, kind of an even split across the board in terms of carries and yardage, receptions and yardage. I have Ekeler, as I said, 15 total carries, around 75 yards, but you're going to get a lot from him, backing it up with receptions. 5, 6 receptions, 40, maybe 50 yards. And I think Ekeler finds the end zone in the air. So you can, combo that with Justin Herbert. Touchdown pass, touchdown reception, and we move on. Is there another running back we should talk about in the LA backfield? Larry Roundtree III. Who else is there? I don't know. But to me, it's cut and dry Sunday night. It's Najee Harris, Austin Ekeler, and we move on. Let's talk about the wide receivers, where it gets juicy, because Pittsburgh, they got a combination of really good wide receivers. Let's talk about Diontae Johnson in LA. LA's fantastic. They're 2nd overall against opposing wide receivers. That secondary is unbelievable. They're ball hawking. They roam all over the place. Thankfully, Derwin James has been healthy, been doing his thing. So Diontae Johnson, 13.5 on FanDuel, $8,800 on DraftKings. You're going to get double-digit targets from Diontae. 10, 11 targets, 6, maybe 7 receptions, 75, 80 yards, and that's about it here. Touchdown, I'm not sure. In this video, I want to caution, normally I throw out, I don't want to say outlandish, but I have a pretty good idea of who's going to catch touchdowns. I feel it in my gut, and I go from there, and I just don't have a pulse on this one as of yet. So I will say right now, I'm going to lay off the touchdown projections, other than when it's, right in your face. Najee Harris, Austin Ekeler. I don't know how the Pittsburgh and the LA wide receivers, how they're going to fare in terms of touchdowns, right? That's the hardest, that's the hardest thing to project. I have a crystal ball. I have my magic 8-ball. They haven't been working right the last few weeks. So let's move on. Chase Claypool, $10,000 on FanDuel, $7,000 on DraftKings. Looking at a solid 7, maybe 8 targets, 4 receptions, 65 or 70 yards. So they make for a great combination in your lineups. Hopefully, I always speak to you as like I'm looking in a mirror, and I have to understand not everybody plays the same way. I look at single game slates as just that, lottery tickets, all multi-entry GPPs. We shoot for the moon. I've never once in my life played a single game entry cash lineup. It's not for me. Not going to put you down if you do that, but for me, single game slates, we get in the batter's box and we swing and we swing and we swing. We get over the fence, we're good to go. Let's talk about James Washington, Ray McLeod. I know Ray was fantastic last week when Chase Claypool was not there. I don't know if these two get anything big time going. James Washington, $7,500 on FanDuel, only $4,800 on DraftKings. Ray McLeod, $7,000 on FanDuel, $3,400 on DraftKings. I have both around 2, maybe 3 targets. You're looking at 20, maybe 30 yards for each of them. I'm moving on. There's a lot. There's some star power in this game. Let's just call it what it is. I'm not going to get cute here. I need to get back on the horse, get off the schneid, and we'll move on. I'm not getting cute, and hopefully, if you do, you hit big time. You hit the moon, as I said. Let's talk about the Chargers wide receivers. I'll get you the heck out of here. We're already over 10 minutes. I get long. Here we are. Keenan Allen, Pittsburgh, they're 19th overall against opposing wide receivers. Allen, 12.5 on FanDuel, $9,400 on DraftKings, 10-11 targets, very sweet, 75, 80 yards. If Justin Herbert throws multiple touchdown passes, I firmly believe one of them is to Keenan Allen. Mike Williams kind of came back down to earth. He did that a while ago, but we're still talking about him. So here we are. Mike Williams, $11,000 on FanDuel, $7,400 on DraftKings, 8, maybe 9 targets. You're looking at around 5 receptions, 60 yards in that. Let folks, just flock to Mike Williams. That's cool. I'm going to pivot to Keenan Allen, or actually pivoting, I would prefer probably Jalen Guyton, who is $6,000 on FanDuel, only $2,000 on DraftKings. Granted, 2-3 receptions, 25, maybe 30 yards. But is this the game where Jalen Guyton, 75-yard reception? Is it a touchdown? The kid's a speedster, and I'd love to see it happen. Let's talk about the tight ends, and I'll get you the heck out of here, as I always say. Pat Freiermuth, Pittsburgh at the Chargers. Chargers, 28th overall against opposing tight ends. We know what Pat has been about. We know he's, now one of the younger stud tight ends in the league, and you'll love to see it. Freiermuth, 9.5 on FanDuel, $5,400 on DraftKings, 6 targets, 5 receptions, 50, 60 yards. Maybe he finds the end zone in this one. I'm a little uncomfortable saying that given the last few weeks, but we will move on. Eric Ebron, no, absolutely not. Jared Cook or Donald Parham Jr. in a single game slate. As I said moments ago, I love to shoot for the moon. I love the GPP play, so I'm going to I'm going to go with Donald Parham Jr. $6,000 on FanDuel, $2,400 on DraftKings. If you look at him and Cook, the only difference is going to be in targets. I got Cook for around 4. I got Parham Jr. for about 3. Yardage kind of split evenly. I got Cook around 35, Parham 30, 25 or 30. But again, Parham, he's a red zone darling. He's the apple of Justin Herbert's eye when they're in the red zone here. Kickers, nothing crazy. Boswell, Hopkins, 2 for 2 with field goals. Extra points, same thing across the board. And in terms of the DSTs, only found on DraftKings here. Just a same thing across the board. Yet again, 2 sacks apiece. I do have each team intercepting the football. Only difference, I have the Chargers recovering a fumble. I don't have Pittsburgh doing that. And the final score here, which kind of goes in line with the DST plays here, I have the Los Angeles Chargers winning this one 24-10, 24-13, something along those lines. So if you're in a pinch, you need to play a DST, I would settle with the Los Angeles Chargers in that beautiful SoFi Stadium. So thank you for being here. If there's anything I can do for you, you can find me at Team Riser Fall in the Discord. It's free. You can find me on Twitter at Detroit Beastie. Make sure you go to Team Riser Fall, like, share. Look at the subscription graphics. They're gorgeous. Thank you to Bennett for those. Oh, and hey, well, I didn't do it last time, but let's go over it briefly. I'll give you like a 20, 30 second kind of taste here. I'm going with Justin Herbert, Harris, Ekeler, Jalen Guyton, and Donald Parham Jr. That's the way my mind is working right now. Hopefully it works for you. And let's meet again Monday Night Football, the end of Week 11. Until then, I'll see you later. Bye, everyone.